I'm generally a pretty liberal person, but when I saw videos of ICE jumping out of unmarked vehicles and nabbing people off the street, that's when I actually bought my first AR-15. So I'm pretty new to this, but the Second Amendment's for all of us. And now I'm seeing videos of Black Panthers out in Minneapolis, chasing down ICE and other police and stuff. I think that's what it's all about. We're facing tyranny right now.
I think that's what it's all about. We are facing tyranny right now. I hate to break it to this guy, but he seems a little giddy to be so dumb. First things first, you can never confuse enforcing our federal immigration laws with tyranny. You can never conflate our law enforcement officers going after people who are criminals, even those who only committed the crime of entering our country illegally, which is still a crime. You can never compare that to actual tyranny. Saying that he's watching videos, fake videos of Black Panthers chasing ICE. They are not chasing ICE. None of these armed people are showing up to where ICE is at in their city, which is within the next few blocks. None of them are showing up and surviving. These people that are pretending they're driving around with guns looking for ICE, ICE is not hard to find. They're literally everywhere. Just follow the whistles and the honks. You go in 4 blocks in any direction, you're going to hit ICE. These people are trying to avoid ICE. They're just trying to get internet coverage. This man is clearly dealing with mental anguish. He feels guilty for just being white. And because of that, he is literally pretending he is willing to throw his life away. He even admitting to only buying a firearm because he saw law enforcement enforcing the laws. My question is, what you going to do with it? You do know you're not going to survive, right? And they're going to just shove that AR up your ass. You understand that. You are not a part of a militia. You are not a part of a standing army or military. You have no might against our federal judges and our federal government. The Fed is at the very top. There is no other agency above them that are going to come and arrest them. They are the people that do the arresting. Might is right. What we say goes. We're the ones with the guns and the military, and we're the ones with the manpower, which means we create the rules. This man, if he thinks he stands a snowball's chance in hell of affecting any change, he's absolutely incorrect. Once we mow him down, we will continue we will go on with the mission as usual tomorrow. His life will be insignificant. He'd be just another dead domestic terrorist. He does not understand. He's an adult, so you can't really give him sympathy and say he doesn't understand what's happening. He absolutely does. But he's more interested in virtue signaling than doing what's right. Let's watch.
I'm generally a pretty liberal person, but when I saw videos of ICE.
Oh, you're liberal. Wow, we would have never guessed.
Jumping out of unmarked vehicles and nabbing people off the street, that's when I actually got my first AR-15. So I'm pretty new to this, but
he finally has people he thinks are his friends. He finally doesn't feel alone anymore. And how long is this going to last? What happens when all the demonstrations are shut down and ICE is still continuing its mission? You guys lost your whatever you're doing right now, you're losing, because every day ICE is getting rid of more and more people. So what effect are your protests having? What effect is your presence there and all your crying? What good is it doing? I don't see the benefit of it. It just seems like a waste of time. And it's like this man is excited to throw his life away. There was a man that was killed yesterday. My question is, why are you showing up to a peaceful protest with guns? People keep talking about the insurrection on January 6th, but when we went to DC, we weren't armed. None of us showed up with guns. So how are the most heavily armed people in the country showing up if we're trying to commit an insurrection and overtake the government? Why wouldn't we bring weapons? It's because we were there peacefully protesting. These people are armed and they're literally dumb enough to get on camera and brag about it, as if this will not be used against them in the court of law. Not sure what his exit plan is, but I hope he made arrangements for where he's going to be buried and who will be notified as next of kin, and hope he has a will, because he will not survive.
The Second Amendment's for all of us. And now I'm seeing videos of Black Panthers out in Minneapolis, chasing down ICE and other.
Thank you so much, Emily Thomas. I appreciate it. The thing is this, we have to get the public back focused on reality. We spend way too much time listening to left-wing biased liberal media, which has melted the minds of normally intelligent Americans. This man is delusional. See, he doesn't have children. He has no wife. There's no men with children and responsibilities that are outside risking their lives trying to fight law enforcement who are deporting people who are illegal migrants in this country, illegal aliens who are here committing rape, child trafficking, sex trafficking, murder, robberies, scamming, fraud. They're doing everything under the sun because they can get away with it, being that they're illegal immigrants. They can just change their identity and come back to the U.S. later. Americans don't have that same option. You're kind of one and done sometimes because they know who you are, but you really don't know who these migrants are. You don't know who these aliens are. This guy, because he doesn't have a family and kids, this is his first sense of belonging he's probably felt in a while. Look at the dumbass smile on his face. People are being killed because they are idiots like this guy. They're trying to show blacks and gays that they are also down for the cause. What cause is that? You want to show that you're in support of getting rid of all of our laws? Okay, you want to keep some laws. Explain which laws do you want to keep? When they answer, the truth is they don't want any laws. And according to them, no matter what crime a black person commits, they should never be shot and they should never be sent to jail. According to these liberals, black people should never be arrested because of Jim Crow and slavery. They should be able to commit any crimes they want. These people have a really twisted ideology and a skewed view of the world. And it's translating now into violence because here these people are announcing to the world that they are heavily armed and they're okay. If you only got a weapon because you see law enforcement enforcing our laws, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with the weapon? Because what's the next step? Are you going to use it? And my question is, how far do you think that's going to get you? What do you think is going to happen? These people you're out here are willing to die for, they would not piss in your mouth if your gums were on fire. They come over to this country and they disrespect your country. They disrespect your government. They disrespect your laws. They have no regard for how their crimes can affect you, but you're willing to throw your life away, pretending to want to protect them from the law. There's no such thing. You're not going to be able to stop anyone from there. No one can be immune from laws. You're under the same ones we're under. That's the whole purpose of Lady Liberty being blind. You're Lady Justice. You're supposed to, the laws have to be applied to us all equally, even if you're an illegal alien. These laws were written before Trump. These laws are not new. These are our current immigration laws. If you don't like our laws, why are you willing to go buy a gun? Why not just buy a plane ticket and move to another country whose laws you accept? Why would you be willing to kill yourself or get sent to prison forever and stay in a country that's, that you don't agree with? Instead of buying a gun, buy a plane ticket and leave and stay alive. That guy, Petty, he could have bought a plane ticket and he'd still be alive. Renee Good could have bought a plane ticket to some island full of lesbians. She would still be alive too, but instead she wanted to play stupid games and she won the ultimate dumbass prize. I don't know how anybody can actually put that on the president or law enforcement. You're literally throwing yourself into the meat grinder, and it just doesn't make sense.
Police and stuff. I think that's what it's all about. We're facing tyranny right now, and I want to be prepared for if that stuff comes to my neighborhood.
Well, how about this? We can come to your neighborhood today. Tomorrow we can come. Where do you live? What's your intersection? Drop the pin. We will be there. And then we can just get this over with. Why should we sit and wait for you to get to you? We can make you a priority. What neighborhood do you live in? And when we show up, let's just go ahead and May the best man win, right? That's how it goes.
I've thought about. I've seen the same videos you're talking about. I've seen some of the stuff in person you're kind of talking about. I've seen some people on the right wing take issue when the left arms up.
No. We don't have issues with anyone arming up. We take issues when people claim that they're arming up so that they can fight our law enforcement officers. Our law enforcement are Americans. These liberals are not American. They might have been born here. They speak English, but they're not Americans. They hate everything about America. That's why they only talk about the Constitution when they're trying to throw it in our face and use it against us. The only time they talk about religion is when they try to use Christianity against you. They'll never try to use Islam or Judaism against people. They only do it with Christianity. These people are very, very sophisticated when it comes to their manipulation.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, the amendments to the Constitution are for everybody. We're all American. We all have those.
Nobody. If you're standing around talking about you're going to go buy a gun because you saw law enforcement enforcing the laws, you're not an American. You're a dead man.
That's right. So we should all be using it. That's my opinion on it.
Well, what that means is that you cannot humor the opinions of everyone. Some people have what we call dumb opinions. His opinions are going to get him and other people killed. And I'm noticing that there are a lot of people who are calling for others to throw themselves into the meat grinder. But the people that are calling for that, they're not willing to do it themselves. We're going to do another episode next. I'm going to talk about how it's like these different women who are lesbians that are in political offices around the country calling for people to go out and attack these ICE agents. But they're not going to go do it themselves. These people are hoping that when all the fighting is over, they'll survive and then they'll be able to rise and take power. So they're trying to get you to go out there and get yourselves killed. They have bad advice for you. I would ignore it and listen to someone's advice like myself. I'm more grounded and well-rounded when it comes to this topic. Stay alive, mind your business. Go, if you're instead of being outside in -40, pointlessly protesting laws being enforced, go home, put on a fire, drink some hot cocoa, and be grateful to be alive, because that is not a guarantee. If you're considering fighting law enforcement, you should not plan on surviving. That would be you being short-sighted. Do me a favor, like and subscribe, share the video. If you have any other thoughts or any opinions on this topic, I appreciate it. I would hope less people are going to be willing to throw their lives away for nothing, but there's no guarantees. But again, people are saying they're arming up to fight law enforcement, which is a horrible idea. But you know what? Godspeed. I know how this is going to turn out. Those people just won't be here anymore, and we'll make the arrangements for them. Make sure you contact your next of kin and book your life insurance today before you go out there with an AR and try to stop the police who are in your neighborhood enforcing the laws. You might want to get your affairs in order first. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be back on with another topic in about 20 minutes. America first, America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.